28, 2008 at 10:30 a.m., Christopher Torres and Tanya Frontera faced the federal grand jury in Brooklyn Federal Court. The Puerto Rican Freedom Project and the Alsos Grand Jury Resistors Campaign mobilized support inside and outside the federal courtroom. Former grand jury resistor Julio Rosado explains the history and the particular motions that were submitted by the lawyers of Christopher Torres and Tanya Frontera.
What the grand jury is an institution that allows the government to get around any constitutional rights that you may have. It operates pretty much as a secret jury, which allows only the U.S. Attorney and a group of grand jurors which are selected from a pool of people who know nothing about what is going on and who therefore trusts the prosecutor. You have no rights. You have no right to have a defense attorney present, so therefore the issues that the prosecutor brings up cannot be contested. What happened here today was that a group of motions that had been made, one to allow friends of the court to participate in the process, number two, the issue that the U.S. Attorney brought up in an attempt to isolate the two people before the grand jury, to keep the public from attending, that was quashed, but everything else was ruled in favor of the prosecutor. The one issue that remains is the issue of whether there was electronic interception of their communications, because that could have been the basis for calling them before the grand jury. The government has now 10 days to file a piece of paper, basically, stating whether they in effect use wiretapping, whether the wiretapping was in effect part of the basis for the subpoenas, or whether the government did not use any wiretapping whatsoever in the case. Once that is submitted, then there is absolutely nothing else to be done on the part of the defense, except one more item, which hasn't been brought up. The judge in 2 weeks will not require the people who have been called to appear, only that the FBI submit, the prosecutor and the FBI submit their information. She will then set a new date for the hearing, and at that time, she will want to order them to testify. However, the question still remains whether it is a coercive action or not. In other words, they refuse to testify, the government knows they refuse to testify. Why is the government now proceeding to have them incarcerated? This is punitive. That can be argued. It may give them maybe 1 or 2 weeks before the judge finally comes back and says, you're going to go before the grand jury or you're going to go to prison. And that is pretty much the nature of this whole issue right now. It seems to me, on the basis of my own experience, 9 months the first time and 3.5 years the second time, that it is practically impossible to defeat a secret proceeding, because the grand jury is the perfect tool on the part of the government to intimidate people. And so it is allowed in an extra constitutional way, so that you actually wind up with absolutely no rights. What the judge does is she serves as window dressing for what appears to be a just process, but she has absolutely no power to challenge the government in terms of its uses of the grand jury, or to rule against the rules that govern the government's use of the grand jury. So she is essentially powerless, except to preside over procedures, which is what she has been doing. On the other hand, the defense attorneys also know that they have no power to change or to alter the course of the grand jury, except in circumstances where double jeopardy may occur. Double jeopardy occurs when a person is called before the grand jury who is also the object of the grand jury. In other words, potentially that person could be accused. That's what happened to the young man from who lives currently in Texas, Monteverde, where it is obvious that he is a target of the grand jury, and the judge felt that it would constitute essentially double jeopardy for him to testify against himself. So within the next few months, the compañeros are going to have to go to prison.
Stay up to date by visiting our MySpace page at www.myspace.com/Free Our Political Prisoners.